Hi everybody, I'm Schizo Gamer talking to you, the voices in my head. Now, I know that this is a little weird to understand, but I have schizophrenia. I had to get a little liquored up to say this because a lot of schizophrenics get really nervous when they talk about their own psychoses and when they talk about having schizophrenia because there's such a stiff, what's the word for it? Stigma against the diagnosis that goes against what schizophrenia is. Schizophrenia is a illness that targets the brain where you stop being able to correlate thoughts in an organized manner. You begin to have disorganized thinking, and it makes it difficult to articulate your speech, and it makes it difficult to articulate what you're trying to say to people. It also supposedly causes people to have psychoses, um, where they distort reality from fiction and they begin to make up their own realities inside their heads. Um, I had been given this diagnosis because of a religious experience. My religious experience, surmised from a previous video, was when I met God, and God told me various different things, which I will surmise in a different video, and several others to come after it, I am sure. But with schizophrenia, there are several positive and negative symptoms. Among the positive symptoms are, or sorry, I should first separate the positive and the negative symptoms. The positive symptoms are the symptoms that make it so that way you are sure to have schizophrenia, and the negative symptoms mean that you could have symptoms that correlate to disorders that are separate from schizophrenia. Among my positive symptoms come hallucinations, which I experience on all five senses, all five of them. And among them are delusional thoughts, which are pragmatically anything that the psychiatrist doesn't believe, from UFOs to religion, like with myself, to Bigfoot. You could believe in Bigfoot and they will consider you psychotic from it. Like if you are genuinely distressed from Bigfoot, I dare people, I double dog dare people, fake believing in Bigfoot to a point where you're distressed to go into a mental hospital, and they will diagnose you with a psychotic disorder, even if you are faking it. These psychiatrists will diagnose you with psychosis over a belief that any of them would sneeze at. Anything that isn't considered an expert dialogue from a proven scientific journal would be considered preposterous to them. So they completely disregard, they completely shove off the real science of new discoveries being done. But I digress. With schizophrenia, there are several symptoms. For one thing, I don't like being known by other people. I don't like being deeply known as a person by other people. And this isn't a part of a negative or positive symptom, but is a part of schizotypal disorder, as professed to me by someone who had been diagnosed by it. Maybe I was wrong. Maybe I had been misinformed. I can concede that much. But as a schizophrenic, the way that I experience my schizophrenia, my hallucinations, are in all five of my senses. In my sense of sight, I see shadow people, and I see visions where I can tell that I am not looking through my eyes, but instead looking through my mind and my imagination in what I call an active imagination, something that I am actively imagining and something that isn't in the background of my imagination that goes on forever. So visually, I experience shadow people, but also occasionally I will experience a vision from my mental active imagination. I have also experienced hallucinations of the senses of smell, specifically related to hallucinations of senses of hearing, which are also tied to that sixth sense. You know, I wish I could hold up a sixth finger for you guys for an active imagination, but I can't. So I have that sixth sense of active imagination, and it triggers with my smell to where I can smell things that are far away or even behind me. Specifically, dog poop on the street or various different excrements, things that exude a miasma. You can tell when something's behind you when you can smell it, and you can tell when something's in front of you when you can smell it. As you walk away, my explanation needs to speak no further. I think. I hope I'm not wrong. But I have also hallucinated on my perceptions. Sorry, yeah, 3 was smell. On my perceptions of hearing. Or, let's see. Hang on. I gotta clip this. So, of sight, hearing, smell. I've hallucinated senses of touch as well. I wanted to keep this as sort of the last thing that I touched on because it's the most violent and excruciating of the hallucinations I go through. But the hallucinations of touch typically go to erroneous areas. I don't exactly want to spell it out on YouTube so disgustingly, but they R-word me. And these hallucinations are incredibly painful to go through because I feel it. Okay, I can't say I feel it with excruciating detail because that just means that it's a detail that I could show to you. I don't just feel it. I feel it. Things invade my personal space. They get into my sense of touch, and they pervade my sense of touch throughout the day. They invade my sense of taste as well, putting horrendous things in my mouth and making it so that way I want to throw up with the violently disgusting tastes I experience. I've had vomit put into my mouth. I've had dog excrement put into my mouth. I'm looking at myself right now, audience, and how could I have ever shown myself to any of you? How shameful that I am. I have to